For a long time, I wondered why I couldn't just make things easier for myself and follow a safer path. A path that wasn't riddled with uncertainty. One with stability and comfort. I grew up having this flame burning inside me at a super young age. Even in elementary school, I knew I wasn't going to go through life in the same way that most people do. Hello. I have ADHD, I hyperfixate, I have the attention span of a raisin when something doesn't interest me, and I get anxiety counting out change in front of cashiers. My brain just doesn't operate like most, which means when I find something I'm passionate about, I latch onto it like a moth to a flame. And circling back to said burning flame inside of me, I grew up with this insane passion for art that would literally keep me up at night. I remember when I was in my middle and high school years, I would just go to sleep at 4, maybe 5 a.m. because I was just up all night drawing anything and everything. I fantasized about owning my own business or creating illustrations to adorn the albums of musicians that I loved back then. But so much of my youth was spent viciously hating myself for being different. I hated that I tried so hard to study in school, but couldn't even get past the first few pages in my textbooks because my ADHD brain physically couldn't allow me to focus on it. I hated that I was bullied so severely for the areas where I was lacking that I had to be homeschooled from 3rd grade all the way until I dropped out of high school. I hated how quick I was to feel overwhelmed with emotion. And I hated how I was brought up in an environment where I never learned how to trust myself or my abilities. But you know what I loved about myself? My love for art and my devotion toward honing that craft. That same girl who would have meltdowns over math equations that didn't even freaking matter in her adult life would draw every single day for hours on end. I always told myself that I wasn't applying myself, quote unquote, but how could I apply myself when it genuinely felt paralyzing? Why did I struggle so hard to focus on my studies, yet I could hyper-focus for hours on end, just drawing away like my life depended on it? I think, in some way, I genuinely believed it did. Now, before I continue, I absolutely recognize that I'm in a major position of privilege in that I'm able to even pursue art as a career in any capacity. I grew up with parents who eventually warmed up to the concept of me being an artist and have helped me a lot to get to where I am right now. But it wasn't always like that. I grew up pretty poor when I was a kid, and I couldn't really afford any art supplies beyond a few pencils that I was using for school, and maybe a sketchbook here and there that my parents would get me for some special occasions that felt like the most mind-blowing gifts ever back then. My parents' financial situation did thankfully improve a little bit over time, but I remembered that I would always have these creative discussions with them about how I should go for a career path that wasn't so risky. I liked learning languages and picked them up pretty quickly. So my dad would always push me to pursue a career as a translator or something along those lines. I studied Japanese, Spanish, Chinese, and even German from elementary school up until high school. It was one of the few school courses that I actually really liked and got good grades in, aside from history. I very briefly considered just saying screw it, and even looked into language courses at UNLV here in Vegas to pursue when I would eventually graduate high school. But nothing ever felt right unless art was attached to it. Art basically fueled every thought, every decision, every ounce of passion I'd ever had in me at that point, and there was no stopping it. The moment I started watching my little early morning anime episodes and sketched the characters I saw on TV as a small 6-year-old girl, I knew there was nothing else that I ever would want to do with my life. And that thought scared the hell out of me. Just knowing that I may never have normalcy or stability in my adult life or a career felt super scary to me. It was terrifying, but also exhilarating. It propelled me to want to work harder. I couldn't study complex equations, so why don't I study the masters of my craft and learn how they managed to sustain themselves as artists? The mere thought of settling for that normalcy left a hollow pit in my stomach. When I thought of my future, all I could think of was living as a full-time artist in some capacity, spending my days painting in a cozy studio and engaging with clients and other artists who also just freaking adored art as much as I did. Just being able to live freely and express myself as my main source of living and my main income source was all I would ever dream about. And as much as I do love money, and don't even lie, we all love money and need money in the capitalist society that we've been forced to live in, but as much as I did crave it, I don't want to live just to make money, sleep, and die. I want to live my life knowing that I at least tried to be honest with myself and lived for me. Doing the things that I want to do and spending my days putting art out into the world that allows me to feel more alive than anything else. Having ADHD sucks because even knowing that I need money to live isn't enough to drive my brain to function like a normal person. I set aside my own needs in order to chase the next endorphin rush. But what if I could combine my passion with my needs? What if the very thing I've been wanting to pursue all my life could actually allow me to live comfortably, with all my needs being met? That's what makes me continue to take risks. It feels like something I was destined to do, and I'd be turning my back on myself if I quit. Of course, there's always the need to be smart. Make sure you have a roof over your head, food in your fridge, and all the other basic necessities to living. You absolutely need to weigh your options and work within your means. Everyone's situation is completely different, so I can't really give any concrete advice for everybody, but if there's something you find yourself so achingly passionate about that you feel pulled to pursue it, even if major risk-taking is involved, please do it. If you're in a position where you can pursue it or at least have a plan in mind, put your all into making it happen. I think the best way to start is by having a job on the side, one that offers a little bit of breathing room for you when you clock out so that you can spend your downtime pursuing whatever it is you're passionate about. And if you're in a position where it'd be extremely difficult to pull off, take those baby steps towards it and remember that not a single damn thing is impossible in this world, no matter how much it feels like the entire world is working against us constantly. That thought process is the sole thing keeping me going, Just knowing that the lucrative and exciting art career with that cozy art studio I've always dreamed of is just around the corner literally drives me to keep taking risks and push forward no matter how scared shitless I may be. A big part of how I navigate this path is by simply being delusional. I say delusional as if the things I want are impossible, but what I mean when I say that, when I say delusional, is be delusional in the eyes of those around you. I want you to picture yourself in 5 years with everything you've ever wanted and pretend for a moment that all those amazing things you desire are guaranteed to come into your life within those 5 years. I want you to sit with that feeling, that certainty that it brings you. That's exactly how I've been choosing to live my life. I try my hardest to live under the assumption that every single thing I'm aiming for, every goal I've set in place, every project I've set into motion, and everything I've decided to try in life will work out exactly how I want it to. If everything is assured to you, I mean, you wouldn't hold back from taking any risks, right? You'd be so much more likely to put yourself out there and say yes to things, moving forward with confident strides. And I want to make something abundantly clear. Your failures don't mean you failed at your goals. In my quote-unquote delusional mindset, I strongly believe that the failures I've encountered along the way have all just been stepping stones to recenter me on the right path that I'm supposed to go toward my ultimate goals. Maybe one project didn't work out, so I guess that means it wasn't in line with the amazing future I have laid out for me, right? Be bold in your pursuits, and it will attract big results. As it stands right now, I'm still a ways away from my ultimate goal. I'm still pushing hard to try and make this art career thing work. I've had slumps, failures, and a lot of guilt surrounding my path in life come my way. But I don't want to ever regret a single decision I've ever made. I know my hard work and dedication will pay off someday, and perhaps that makes me delusional to the people around me or even people watching this. An art career seems hopeless in a lot of eyes. Art has always been seen as a waste of time. But you know what? I'm gonna continue living every single day, cherishing the time I've dedicated to something that truly makes me happy. I only have so much time left in this world, so I just want to be exactly who I want to be and live exactly the way I've always intended to. If you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you're passionate about. Tell me your goals and the things you ultimately want to pursue, no matter how out there or unrealistic it may seem. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to support the channel. Until next time, my friend.